Welcome to Friday Night Party Line for February 12th, 2016. It's good to be back, guys. Hey, Nelson. Hey, Cherba. How's you guys doing?
Hello. What's this thing called again? It's been so long I forgot.
It's been
It's been
so
so
Where am
long
long.
I've
I?
grown a beard, shaved it,
Oh,
and grown another one.
I have grown a beard and shaved it. I shaved like 2 days ago. Uh,
I
actually,
can't
I had
even
to.
see your beard. That's
Well,
weird.
that's the point. I've been going back. I've been trying to stay clean shaven, but it's kind of tough because my beard grows pretty quickly. But we're back.
If you think
Ah,
about it, doesn't
oh.
everybody just have a beard all the time? It's just that sometimes it's inside your face.
It's not the beard on the outside. It's the beard on the inside that counts.
I too miss Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah. All right, so we got a good topic here today. I'm trying to do a new thing with the new year, picking one, topic we can discuss, and hopefully we can keep it under an hour. And I got a secondary topic if it doesn't run quite long enough. So the first topic we're going to be talking about tonight is about institution of the United States, the public library. The public library was once looked at as a fount of knowledge for the masses, but now it seems to be more like a community center. With that in mind, in which role is the library more valuable, if either? Moreover, does the public library as an institution still hold the same kind of value in society as it once did?
I think it does, but I think it's under attack. And this is not going to be a PBS telethon situation. Um, but I think the idea of public libraries as places what you get knowledge in is very useful, especially for things like continuing education and having a well-rounded adult population. Um, I think the primary focus needs to shift, and it hasn't really. Like, the libraries in a lot of cases have shifted to being, as you said, community centers, but they haven't shifted to being, like, places where very smart people can help you get information from various sources. Those including, and probably primarily, places on the internet.
So you think that libraries should become less like should either maintain or refocus their current status as more community centers and become more like places where people who have a firm understanding of how to sift through the vast amount of information that's available on the internet can be there for people who don't.
hmm I think they should still do community centery things, but I don't think that's the. A lot of American politicians think that is what will save libraries, and I don't think that's the case.
Mm.
I think that they need to have a primary purpose, and it should be a primary purpose of diffusing knowledge throughout a population.
But this diffusion of the population, I mean, when I was a kid, I would go and hang out at the local public library a lot. I mean, this was, back when the fastest computer in my neighborhood was a Pentium 2.
hmm
But I would go, and me and my friends would all get our bikes. We'd go hang out at the library because it was nice. It was air conditioned. They had comic books. They had DVDs. They had a whole bunch of stuff. They had computers there.
hmm
At that point, it seems like it was already taking up the role as a community center. But traditionally, the role of the library has been a means for the public, not necessarily to, as you say it should be, to have access to people who have the knowledge to go through and curate all this information, but as a means for them to go and rather self-explore the information. I mean, one of the biggest draws that I've heard about printed books as opposed to ebooks is that a printed book is right there on the shelf. You can go, you can see it, it can attract your eye, and you can find the book that you might not have otherwise located online. So is that a role that should be less conducted by libraries in favor of more being this, place where knowledge-seeking experts can help you seek knowledge?
Hmm. I like the idea of a place where like archives of printed material can be discovered, but I don't see the difference between that and like a well-run used bookstore, like for example the Strand in New York. Um, there maybe what if there were government sponsored used bookstores though? That might be.
It's called the Friends of the Library. You go to a
Yeah, but they don't have any
library.
money.
You,
They don't have any friends.
I picked up a couple of volumes of Ranma 1/2 just yesterday for like $1 at
That's
the
pretty good.
library. Well, because I bring this up, and this has kind of been brought into my focus because on the way dropping off my brother and picking him up from school, there's a library there as part of the Los Angeles Public Library Network, and I dropped in, and just
Also
appealing
that
to
good.
my interest, they had a shit ton of manga.
Mhm.
Like they had a
Black
bigger.
Bullet.
They had a bigger. I'm trying out manga I haven't read yet. They had more manga than some comic book stores I've been to. And what I noticed is that while there was certainly a large selection of books for a small local branch of the library system, there was an equally large part of the building dedicated towards community activities. And I was surprised that there were a lot of kids still at the library, but they weren't reading books. They were all on their cell phones using the free Wi-Fi. I don't know. I mean, is the library as a repository of information, does that still have a sense of importance in society, or has the internet more or less supplanted that?
I think it does, but the reason why I bring up the professional library science curation aspect as a key component is because the library actually should probably serve two functions. It's allowing, so as you said, people are doing events there, people are using their Wi-Fi. All of these functions are also also given through private means, right? Like you go to a coffee shop for Wi-Fi, or you go to, there are event spaces that you rent out for functions.
Right.
The thing that all of these don't give you is universal access. So ideally, one of the key purposes of libraries is to have universal access. The government is paying for it, so any person, no matter how poor, can go to the library and access the whatevers, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is, if that is the only thing that a library does, then it just becomes, the subway
center.
car. Well, it becomes the subway car that no one wants to get in because it's smelly in there. So there needs to be some kind of, it can't just be, oh, this is where poor people go on the internet. Because that will, one, never maintain their funding,
Right.
and two, not be seen as a useful thing by a lot of society.
3 also leads to public masturbation, and nobody wants to see that except for some people who do, but they can organize something on their own. They
Yeah.
don't need that
Yeah.
particular service at the library.
Yeah, that's what parks are for.
So if what I'm
Exactly.
hearing from you, correct
So-
me if I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing from you is that the library, the physical establishment of the, here are the books, here are the stacks, here is the archives, is a necessary part to keep those services that can be allowed to be universal to people in existence.
Yes.
Rather as a justification.
I think so. I think it's half, universal access, and it's half for the people that can get data and information and internet and all these other things in other places. there is definitely potentially a valuable, whether it's monetarily or just societally, there's value to librarians. Like, library science is a very specific and detailed profession, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And a well-trained librarian is kind of amazing at, like, research and organizing information. And that is not something that a lot of people really have access to, but could definitely help a lot of people.
So, as you said, you feel that libraries are have a less important role in society. What can be done to take this institution that is ostensibly incredibly valuable to the democratization of access of information to society? What can be done to make the library as an institution return at least to its former place as a central and valuable anchor in the community?
Mm-hmm. I think you have to have those, I don't know what you'd call them, that professional class of service, and whether that's just a government subsidized free thing, or maybe you pay a little for it. I don't know. It reminds me a lot of the proposal to use the post offices, which are hemorrhaging money, as local banking centers for people that can't get access to commercial banks. Because it's that same thing. We have this infrastructure in place that is good infrastructure, and we have these systems that we can use. Why don't we add this valuable service to the community? And in terms of the post office, it's why don't we add this valuable service to the community that both helps poor people, doesn't cost a lot of money at all, and probably could even make money, which is important when you're dealing with people that want to destroy government, and provides something that people need.
Sherba, thoughts? You've been fairly quiet
Every
back
time you say the
there.
stacks, I think of the pornographic film that was supposedly filmed by the legendary Porn and Picking Club of Yale University.
Yeah, I don't think
the Yale Library, which is known as the Stacks.
Mm-hmm. I don't think any college library has not had people have sex on the stacks.
Most certainly, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From personal experience.
Don't bring a black light to your local library.
No.
No.
But no, I mean, I don't know. My experience with libraries is a little bit different, obviously, because our libraries are a bit different down here. Our libraries tend to try and keep up and be more useful to the community. I mean, they still have event stuff. Like, I'm looking right now at the events page for my local library. They've got tea and trivia. They've got a lot of children's events. They've got a world
Sensual
kitchen thing
pleasures of the garden.
I assume that's where you stuff a mango up your ass.
Sen Plesgard, as they say.
Very sensual.
But, I see.
They've
Sensual
got all
in the totally legitimate, technical sense.
Oh yeah, it is actually about senses,
Smells,
about experiencing, multiple senses.
I'll read the description eventually.
Presented by Paul Plant.
Wow.
I think, Paul Plant is the editor of Subtropical Gardening magazine. That is the best name.
Oh my God. That has to be a nom de plume. That cannot be his real name.
But they also have things that are actual services to the community, like supervised exam sessions. A lot of outside places will take advantage of those to have exams for things like ESL classes and such.
That's very useful.
Yeah.
They also provide translation services for basically most languages, as well as classes in sign language, which down here is Auslan rather than rather than ASL,
Right.
which is irritating as shit. But we'll get to that another day. I assume that noise, since I'm not actually looking at the video feed, was Nelson doing ASL because he went to Rochester.
No.
No, no, I'm reading Paul Plant's Guardian Consultancy.
Is it any good?
Doesn't look like it.
But anyway,
I mean,
they've got, like, trends. Go on.
I'm no expert in subtropical gardening, of course.
Horticulture.
But they've got all sorts of things like, these support services, translation services. They can help you with various resources. All of their catalogs are online. They have ebook lending, which is a pain in the ass to actually do. I've tried, but it's there, I guess. Even
That's
if
something.
the process could be streamlined.
That's something that libraries in the United States and elsewhere have totally dropped the ball on.
Well, I don't know. LA Public Library does ebook lending. I mean,
no, they do it. It's
shit,
just
but
the New York Public Library has ebook lending that is well done if you are in Manhattan. If you're a resident of Manhattan, you can access the Manhattan branch ebook system,
really?
which is tied in with Amazon and actually
Wow.
good. Yeah. If you're anywhere else, you cannot, I don't think, access that. And you'd think that ebooks would be something that you could have, copies of and give them out, and it wouldn't be a big deal.
Nope.
But
Nope.
Yeah.
So, Nelson, you brought up that. Go ahead.
There
No,
are
please.
a few more interesting features of libraries we have down here. They've got, aside from the usual computer facilities, getting on the internet with basic stuff.
Yeah.
They also include often meeting rooms where you can just hold your local meetings and things like that. They actually get used quite a lot for other community projects, just having a place to meet that they don't have to pay for.
Yeah,
and there's
libraries around here
also-
do that too.
My personal favorite is the home library service, which is where they basically have these vans and will go around and pick up and deliver books and all that sort of business to people who are too frail. It's hard for them to get to the university because of disability, or they're crook, or things like that. If for some reason they can't get to the library, they'll just swing. Some dude with a van will just swing around and give you books.
So not a bookmobile, but more like library delivery service?
Yeah, basically. It's sort of like the bookmobile if the bookmobile you could book ahead of time and had access to a much bigger library.
So what you're saying is it's Uber for books?
That
Is there an
sounds
Uber
like
for
a startup.
strangling people?
No, what they do is they bring you into the van and then they crush your arm in the rolling stacks.
Good God. That's a bit severe. I mean, maybe if your returns are late, just a finger or two would be okay, but come on, man.
Well, you see, it has to match the severity of Uber.
Eh.
So, Nelson, you said earlier that that maybe libraries, maybe to be able to offer these kinds of services to to communities, libraries may not necessarily have to be free. Did you mean that the entire library service need not be free, or that it's just these extended services need not be free?
Ideally, everything would be free.
Right.
Right? But if there is a way to have reasonable rates for professional services, like translation would be a good example. I think it might, or even if the library was sort of like just matched you with contracted translators that giving people connecting people with those services, especially if people don't know about those services. Like if someone's doing a business project and they're like, oh, I need to know these things and I don't know what I'm doing, and if their thought is, oh, I'll go to the library and they'll help me, and maybe that means they'll get a librarian and figure out like how to do research, or maybe they'll say, okay, well we know this researcher who's knows about business whatever's, and they'll do business research for you for money. There's ways to be you don't necessarily need to be solvent, but there's ways to be not a as some politicians would say, a drain on the economy, while also providing services that people need for little or no money.
So perhaps these services, which would otherwise cost a crap ton of money, for example, translation services, perhaps some of it would be subsidized and be made available for a much lower rate to be more accessible to people.
Yeah.
So wouldn't stuff like that make a broader push towards private libraries as opposed to
private libraries would be probably by definition for profit, right? It's not a charity.
I don't know. I've never actually seen a private library.
The private libraries that I know of either became museums or went out of business because no one goes to private libraries.
I have an idea.
Hmm.
What if libraries, instead of going all private or all public, went to the free-to-play kind of model where you get a certain base level of service for free?
Shut up, Chirpa. Although, come to think of it, that's basically what Nelson just described.
Yeah. Well, my library would be shareware, you see.
Free trial for 15 days and annoying ads every 10 minutes.
No, when you try... It works fine, but then when you try and leave, some dude with a sandwich board comes out and tells you to buy the full game when it's released.
Your Public Library, brought to you by, who the hell makes LOL? Riot?
Riot.
Right. Your Public Library, brought to you by Riot. And by extension, Tencent.
You know what? Yeah, we could tie them into the... what is it, Monkey Bucks or whatever the innocently named Chinese... Yeah, Sesame Credit.
Yeah.
If you go to the library...
That's horrifying.
3 times a week. What? If you go to the library at least 3 times a week, you get some a little bump of your Sesame Credit.
Except if you take out dissident-related content.
Oh yeah, don't do that. That's bad.
That is one... I have to tell you, I brought this up when my brother... So I took my brother to the public library to get a replacement library card because he's 10, and naturally he lost his library card.
Mm-hmm.
So the librarian was making kind of a showy kind of fuss about him losing his library card to him. And I was saying, Bud, libraries are a very important institution in the United States. You know that? If the government wants to find out what books you took out at the library, they have to get a warrant.
Well,
yeah. It's part of the code. It's part of the code. It's part of the ALA code of ethics that what content a library patron takes out is protected information.
Supposedly, yes.
Yeah.
Legally, yes.
Legally,
I should say.
Legally, yes. All right.
Huh? I was looking for something in particular. That's my library card.
Hey! Everybody get out your library cards.
Somewhere
in my wallet somewhere.
Nelson, where's your library card, Nelson?
It is Brooklyn.
Mine. I got mine.
Brooklyn and New York, because of
Yeah.
course they're different.
Mine's got pretty designs on it with books flying out of a cage because someone doesn't realize you don't keep books in a cage because they
And that
can't
too.
fly.
Right.
IKEA family.
My
Are we just going to
apparently,
show off our loyalty cards now?
according to my library card, the Los Angeles Public Library was the 2015 winner of nation's highest honor for library service.
Nice.
Yeah, look at that,
My initial D license.
huh?
Oh,
I
that's
have mine,
excellent.
too. I think I have mine in my wallet.
My EB Games loyalty card that I use like very rarely, but is handy when I do.
Oh
These
no!
are
I don't have my initial D license in my wallet. What the hell? Ah, no.
Do you know what this is?
Uh,
No fucking clue, but it looks good.
JavaScript. Is it a cafe?
No. So there's a sort of meetup, sort of series of talks every month called Brooklyn JS. And at one point they found a nice laser engraving place,
Mhm.
and they got each month they would do a different type of wood, and they would engrave. This is sort of what a New York City Metro card looks like. It's got the stripe and it's got the little thing, but it would be Brooklyn JavaScript.
So that one is called Brooklyn JS, right?
Yeah.
Are there other branches of that?
Oh, let me tell you about this.
Tell me they're called nodes.
So there's the Boro JS family, which is sort of part of the JS Conf family, like JS Conference. There's Brooklyn JS, Queens JS, Manhattan JS, Jersey Script, because they want to be different.
Jersey.
And I believe there's also a Staten Island JS, but no one's ever been to Staten Island, so.
Yeah, it's pretty closed.
There's also Empire JS, which is a yearly JavaScript conference, but there is also Empire Node.
Okay.
I've got a bunch of business cards in my wallet and I can't figure out where the fuck they came from. Businesses, I assume. But
Presumably.
I have one card in my wallet that beats them all.
What is
Any
the one
card that
card
you
to
can
rule
put
them
in
all?
your wallet.
Well,
My
you
socialized medicine card.
you say that, but you see, I also have a socialized medicine card. In fact, I have two.
Two? Good lord.
I've got the State of California Benefits Identification Card, and I've got my Care First health plan card, which is the socialized medicine here in Los Angeles. Well, one of them.
Oh,
It's part of the LA network.
I, on the other hand, have 3 separate private insurance cards, and none of them actually work.
Wow. Oh, hey, I found my
Because
student
they're
ID.
from, like, former jobs. And that's America, right there.
I found my student
Also-
ID. I'm going to use it to get some discounts on Froyo.
Bonus prize to either of you who can figure out where the hell I got this. Because I don't know.
What is that?
Is that G4?
That would be a G in a spot, so I would assume it's GameSpot, because I can read the other side of the card where it says GameSpot.
Oh.
And it's labeled with CBS Interactive Games.
Huh.
That
I don't
sounds like
even know why I've
a sounds
got
like
that
a
in my wallet.
PAX situation right there.
Yeah, something like
I probably met that dude when I was drunk, and I just don't remember.
that. Oh, I have my GameStop. I have my GameStop power-up card.
GameStop and EB Games are basically the same.
No, they are literally the same.
I've
They're
got
the
a
same-
Mikey card in my wallet, which
the
is a
same
bit
card.
odd, considering that I've been in Brisbane since like last October, and this is the Melbourne public transport system, so that would explain why my Go card hasn't been working every time I wave my wallet at the sensor on the train.
Ah. Huh. Oh, because it's picking up the wrong chip.
No, it's because my Go card's probably in my bookshelf,
Ah.
where my Mikey card normally sits.
All right, so we got through the library thing. I think we actually covered it pretty damn well.
Yeah.
So just a little quick fun topic. The Summer Olympics are coming up this year. It's going to be in, if memory serves correctly, Rio de Janeiro. So what I want you to do is to pick one of each. A sport you'd remove from the Summer Olympics, and a sport you'd add instead.
I don't know if chess is in the Summer Olympics, but I do know it is not a sport.
Okay. Why do you, just out of curiosity, why do you say chess isn't the sport?
Because the primary differentiator has nothing to do with agility, dexterity, or any other physical, not mental thing.
Oh, apparently baseball is not a Summer Olympic sport anymore.
Huh. They should maybe
dude.
add baseball. Baseball's a sport.
Yeah. I mean, hell, Japan's all over that biz.
Yeah.
I vote
Let's
Rocket
see.
League, the next Olympic sport.
Okay, so-
you know what? Yes. Rocket League is a sport.
I want to see some esports in the Olympics. Just like, I don't actually give that much of a shit about esports. I just want it in there to really annoy people who get really uptight about these things.
I think it would
Because
be great.
if you think they went ape shit about baseball being in the Olympics, you should fucking see if we get fucking esports in there.
On the
Get
other
some
hand,
TF2.
Rocket League hooligans? I don't know. Could be dangerous.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I just need to see that now. I need to see Rocket League hooligans. They'll drive a whole bunch of RC cars onto a field.
Well, here's the question: Are they RC cars or are they vehicular, automaton creatures
Oh my
that are full size and sentient?
I wouldn't say they're
Oh.
full size. Well, technically any size is full size, considering they're not really anything we have right now. So whatever
Well, like,
size
are
is
they
full size.
car sized? Are they car sized with a giant ball, or are they RC cars with a tiny ball?
I think it'd be better
I
to make them
think
RC
some
With a
cars with a tiny
regular
ball.
ball.
I think they're small I think they're on the small end. Like, they're very big for RC cars, but they're much smaller than cars.
Oh,
and then the
guys.
ball itself is maybe car sized.
Oh god, guys. I just got the
What?
best idea. So, right? Let's assume that this is set up. Let's assume that this Rocket League is an Olympic sport now. So you have RC cars, right? Let's talk like 1/6 or 1/10 scale, right? But instead of it being like a normal field, it's like an air hockey table. And cameras keep track of the positions of the cars. So when you want to trigger a jump, poof, shot of air launches the car into the air.
That could happen.
That could totally work.
They would have to be very light cars.
Oh, well, yeah, but it doesn't take much to... I mean, like, I was doing RC drifting for a while, and, like, a bit of a breeze would make the cars not drift the way you want. So, that could totally happen. All right, but anyways, what sport would you want to take out?
I said mine.
Which sport was that?
I don't even know what
The
sports are
not
fucking
sport
in.
of chess.
Well, chess isn't in the Summer Olympics.
Oh. What?
Wait. Hang on. How long has it been since you've watched the Olympics that you thought chess was stealing?
Well...
Maybe middle school?
I don't actually know when they took chess out, I should add.
I don't think chess was ever in the Summer Olympics. I think it was in the Olympics.
I was worried that it was in the Winter Olympics because if it's cold, you want to stay inside and play chess, the game, not the sport. But let me see what actual sports are in the Summer Olympics.
See, I found it out. Chess was never contested at the Olympics, but chess is recognized by the International Olympic Committee for reasons that are completely beyond me.
I would probably.
How would you feel about Nelson? How would you feel about chess boxing?
Now, chess boxing is definitely a sport. and it should be added to both the Summer and Winter Olympics.
Holy shit! Apparently, auto racing, whatever that means to the International Olympic Committee, is an International Olympic Committee recognized Olympic sport. It's just not contested at the Olympics.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Trampoline is an Olympic sport?
Have you ever seen two trampolines go at it?
I'm sorry.
I'm more baffled that life-saving is an Olympic sport. Surely that is a bit more serious than just something you win medals at.
Yeah, competitive
I'm sorry.
life-saving. You save the
I'm
most
taking-
lives, you win.
I'm casting my vote. I'm taking trampoline out of the Olympics and replacing it with go-kart racing.
I am taking go-kart racing out of the Olympics and replacing it with go-kart racing on a giant trampoline.
Why is
Wait, what?
orienteering recognized by
Yeah.
the Olympic Games?
Wait, what the hell is orienteering?
It's
It's where they give you a gold medal for not getting lost.
and also not dying.
I'm sorry, what?
It's not.
That
it's
can't
not
be a
sport.
thing. How do you make a sport out of that?
It's basically competitive hiking.
Yeah.
It's,
What?
Okay, orienteering is sort of like hiking, except there's more focus on your navigational skills than just the distance you go.
Yeah. It's not you could, I guess, consider it a sport, but it is not a good competitive sport to watch.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
just
Now,
like dudes
now
walking around.
Hunger Gaming,
Oh.
as it is called, could be a great Olympic sport because it combines orienteering with hand-to-hand combat, and because of the rules, it gets progressively faster as the game progresses.
I have to ask Nelson, why take why take go-karting out of the Olympics?
To put it on a giant trampoline and put it back in.
Oh,
That'd be
go-karting on a trampoline.
Yes, yes.
That sounds absolutely horrible.
It sounds fantastic.
So you know what it sounds like?
also-
You know what it sounds like
It's-
Mario Kart.
It sounds fantastic, and also remember, I just seriously argued that Hunger Gaming should also be an Olympic sport in lieu of orienteering.
Well, at least Hunger Gaming, you wouldn't have like all these people just continually coming back to the Olympics and keep winning. You get a lot of fresh faces.
That's true.
Uh,
What is it?
All right. I know.
Jeu de paume?
I know the sport that I would add to the Olympics seriously.
What the hell is jeu de paume? Lawn tennis? What the hell
Wait,
is that?
The
sure, but you say
troll-
yours, then I'll say
Wait.
mine.
Okay, I have two
Okay, go
answers. The troll answer is cricket, because a game of cricket can go on for longer than the Olympics themselves. You would have to delay the closing ceremony for days.
Croquet, that's an Olympic sport.
But no, the real answer is hurling. Not throwing up.
Oh. Yeah, I'm
Sport.
surprised it's not.
Yeah, wait a
Yeah.
minute. Hold on, it's not it's not in the list. Why isn't hurling in here?
Because hurling is too awesome to be contained in such middling terms as the Olympics.
Or at least the Summer Olympics anyways.
For people who don't know, hurling is basically kind of grass hockey, kind of soccer, except played at head height with a baseball, a stick that looks like a fucking big flattened out hockey stick with an end the size of a pie plate, and 15 psychopaths per side.
So rugby with sticks?
It's rugby with
Basically.
sticks and baseball at head level.
Can I one up you?
Kind of looks like lacrosse, to be
Go.
honest.
I have the serious thing that I would like to add to the Olympics, and it
Okay.
is similar to your serious thing that you would like to add to the Olympics.
Go.
Have you ever heard of the Italian sport of calcio fiorentino?
No.
No.
Imagine soccer. Calcio is Italian for soccer.
Right.
Except imagine there are a random number of people, usually like it looks like 20 to 30 per team, And you take off all your shirts, and you don't wear like a uniform. You just wear, shorts and maybe sneakers. And you go to the dirt arena, and the object of the game is to get a ball into the other team's goal. There are no other rules.
Camera died.
Oh no. There are no other rules.
Ah.
Think about it for a second.
Huh.
Oh.
There are no other rules.
Huh.
The objective is get the ball into the other team's goal by any means necessary.
Oh, no, wait. There are a small number of extra rules now. Apparently, apparently you are allowed to headbutt, punch, kick, elbow, and the like, but choking, rabbit punches, sucker punches, and kicks to the head are banned.
Wait, what's a
yes.
rabbit punch?
Well, do you know how they used to kill rabbits? Like when they used to trap rabbits in traps. They used to get this little piece of wood, like a little hunk of timber only about 8 inches long, and they used to give the rabbit a quick whack behind the head. Disconnects the spine from the brain.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a rabbit punch is basically giving someone a fucking quick rising punch right in the back of the head where it connects to the spine.
Yeesh.
It's wicked dangerous. Don't ever do it. You'll kill someone. You'll go the fuck to jail, and you'll deserve it.
So this, like many other Italian things, has origins in medieval Florence and hasn't really changed that much since then.
I can tell by the pants.
Yeah, there is a sort of unofficial uniform, which is like fancy medieval pantaloon things. But yeah. So the team it's a team of 27 players each, usually, and the team with the most goals at the end of 50 minutes wins a cow. So if you ever a cow,
is it a live cow or a dead cow?
I believe traditionally it's a live cow.
Oh, okay.
But if you only have a dead cow, I think you could probably get 54 Florentinos to beat each other for 50 minutes. They're very game.
I like this line in the article. However, the prize has been reduced to a free dinner for the winning team.
Oh yeah.
The players earn no other compensation.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
so this sounds a lot to me like blood sport.
It's basically blood sport. It's amazing.
Huh.
Yeah, I could do this sport. I mean,
I could see this in the Olympics.
Shit out of an Italian for a free meal.
I could see this in the Olympics. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do it.
I mean, how many people would tune in to watch this?
Yeah.
It would almost get as good ratings as Greek oil wrestling.
It's traditional also for the spectators to dress in costume representing various medieval guilds, because of course it is.
Wait, why is BMX in the Olympics?
BMX?
Yeah, BMX is in the Olympics.
That doesn't make any sense. What?
Oh, it's like track BMX, not just like flatland doing tricks.
That sounds a lot like velodrome.
Well, I assume it is, with dirt and jumps and shit.
Huh. Isn't that what the X Games is for, though?
No, the X Games is more for the flatland trick-doing stuff. This one is, that BMX is for who can do the thing the fastest.
Oh, but apparently BMX has only been in here since 2008.
Yeah.
Huh. What else is new? Softball, that's kind of new. 96. Looks like BMX is the new... Wait, no. Golf. Golf is in there now.
Yeah,
after
golf
being
is
gone for a long while.
Technically a sport, but also is lame.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I mean, golf. They've got all these tours that they do.
Golf
Why?
is not about competition. Golf is about contemplation and making deals and smoking cigars.
It's the art of the deal.
Yeah, that's what golf is
Really?
about.
Because the way I play, it's more about smoking cigarettes and making divots.
There's some divots. There's some divoting.
Mini golf.
Actually, no.
Mini golf should be an Olympic sport.
I'm ridiculously good at driving a golf ball a very long way. I am fucking garbage at everything else to do with golf. Except for the cheating, I'm pretty good at that.
I am okay at angles because I am also okay at pool and billiards, but everything else I am not great at.
We need to play some golf on GTA again.
Yeah. Also, I just realised we actually could have cricket in the Olympics, but it's a very specialised form of cricket. Have you fellas ever heard of 2020 cricket?
No. We're Americans, Chirba.
Of course.
What's cricket?
I barely understand what cricket is. It looks like baseball with a smushed bat.
Yeah,
That's what it
smushy
looks like.
baseball.
It's a game that we use to punish ourselves for a week at a time.
I thought that was croquet.
Well, that's the game that the rich use to punish themselves.
Yes, you've got to have a bit of class in these matters when you're punishing yourself pointlessly. But anyway,
Yep.
you know basically what cricket looks like. Two blokes at either end of a strip of cricket. Strip of cricket? What? Strip of grass. Strip of cricket. Now there's an Olympic sport.
How fast can you put clothes on and then remove clothes from a little cricket bug?
Because you want to bet that fucking the batter is going to want to take his pads off last. Body line will make a return. That joke nobody will get outside of like Australia and England and South Africa. But anyway.
Or India. India's
You've
big
got-
on cricket.
You've got the two dudes at either end of the pitch. The bowler pitches the ball down the pitch, bounces once, batter hits it out to the people, runs back and forth, scores points. All right? That's what cricket looks like. The thing with cricket is it normally goes on for about a fucking week and is the slowest game in the world because we still have all these fancy English things about it, like breaking for tea in the afternoon and breaking for lunch and all this bollocks. Scores are often...
How sophisticated.
But anyway, 2020 is the basic mechanics of cricket, but you have two teams get a single innings each, and that innings is restricted to 20 overs. And an over is just 6 balls delivered in succession.
Okay.
It is basically cricket sped up enough that you can have a game in about 3 or 4 hours.
3
as
to
opposed
4
to-
hours?
Yeah, about as long as a game of baseball, in other words, Victor.
Does baseball really take 3 to 4 hours?
I don't know. I don't really
Baseball
watch
takes ages,
Yeah, I
dude.
know. Is that game those Americans play?
Those Americans.
Those Yankees and those sock wearers.
Okay.
The Yankees and the White Sox.
Average length of Major League Baseball games.
A modern game of baseball is 9 innings, and a normal game
About
of
3
professional
hours.
baseball takes about 3 hours. Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. But 2020 cricket takes, about 3 hours to play. It's much easier to understand because the rules don't have all of the fucking bullshit that's been catamaried up over hundreds of years of English people being English people. And you already have a massive stable of world-class players to draw from.
Ballooning needs to be an Olympic sport. It was demonstrated as an Olympic sport in 1900. It needs to be an Olympic sport.
Yes.
Only a part of the sport is having people on the ground with rifles. Competitive shooting down balloons.
Guns of Icarus should be an Olympic sport. but
Yes,
real
but not
life
the
Guns
game.
of Icarus.
Yes, real
Yeah,
life
just
Guns
get
of
a
Icarus.
parachute. What could go wrong?
Everything impossible.
People will die.
So actually, we've got enough space in Australia that we could probably quite feasibly host Guns of Icarus games, like just out in the middle of nowhere. People would still die, but at least not most people.
But it's Australia. It's normal for people to die.
Well, it's normal for people to die everywhere, Victor.
No, but I mean at a rate at which it would be otherwise untenable elsewhere.
There comes a time in a man's life, my friend, where a man simply stopped being.
All right,
But,
guys,
yes.
it's been a fantastic show. It's good to get the whole gang back together.
The year of Scott Johnson.
Nelson,
Yes.
Nelson, we've been missing you, man.
Yes.
It's good to have you back.
Yes.
We got anything to plug,
Nelson, yeah,
Um,
let's go through the plugs. Nelson, you got something to plug? You did write an article, or you did write a thing recently.
Yeah, it was a short thing.
recently. Because I get them
Um,
delivered to my inbox via Medium. Thanks, Medium.
I will have something to plug very shortly, maybe, yes, maybe from work. Oh, actually, you know what? I will plug this thing. You should look at Following, which is a blog site, whatever, by New York Magazine. It's got Max Reed, who was the former editor-in-chief of Gawker, and they talk about cool vines and other internet things, and it's actually really good.
Wouldn't that be essentially the same job if you worked for a wine magazine?
No, cool vines. Like,
Yes, exactly. You talk about cool vines.
oh my god.
Ooh, a gospel version of the Golden Girls theme.
There you go. Alright.
Turbo, you got anything you want to plug?
Yes, actually. Hold on. I'm just closing tabs about cricket. You think I remember all this shit? I don't give a fuck about cricket most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Hold on. Let me just pull up things so I can put a link in the chat so Victor can link it later. But it is a short film. It is a short film called Comfort by Black Squid Media, and if I remember correctly, directed by a young gent called Zachary Nah, who actually works for Blur, the company who's made the latest Deadpool film.
It's a good.
If you
it's a good short film.
if you saw the tumbling SUV in the trailer, that
For
is.
fuck's sake,
is
hang
SUV.
on. It's that stupid 555 number. It's ringing on my computer and on my tablet and on every fucking thing I own.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Hello, who's this? Hello? Hi, who's this?
Why are you picking up the phone, and why are you not piping the audio through to us too?
Yes? Who's this?
Ask them if they're a
Hi,
ghost.
Miss, hang on a second. I need to let you know that this is a really bad time to call, and moreover, this call is accidentally being streamed to YouTube. So if you could call me back in like 10 minutes, that'd be great. Okay, thank you.
We have created accidental YouTube stars. Alright.
I think stars is a bit pushing it, wouldn't you say?
Abso-fucking-lutely, but I'm going to say it anyway, because...
Okay. All right. So, what? So I gotta edit that out. But
Okay.
so yeah, Turbo, you want to go again about the short film?
Okay. Anyway, it is a short film called Comfort by a group called Black Squid Media, and directed by a young gent called Zachary Nah, who, if I remember correctly, works at the famous Blur. He's he's a pretty wicked talented filmmaker. I really enjoyed this, like legit, not just because this is a guy I kind of know. No, this is fucking really good. You should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It is all about drinking and addiction and such things on the surface of it, but, you know, I'm trying to be circumspect because it's not that long, so...
It's got a
spend the 10
good
minutes and
ending.
watch it yourself. Yes.
It's got a good ending. It's not what you would call a predictable ending, but it is a good ending. For my thing to plug, I'm going to plug a video by YouTuber Tom Scott explaining why all those people who set their iPhone clock back to the 1970s had a horrible time. Basically, it bricks your phone, but this video goes into why that is, and I'll give you a hint. It's about Unix, and not, you know, not the people kind of Unix, but you know.
Hey man, they could be both.
Well, I don't think the people kind of Unix has to do with why people's iPhones are crashing.
Well, yeah, but there's probably some Unix programmer out there who hasn't got any bollocks anymore, who's just like, that bloody Victor.
Me specifically, huh?
Yes, you specifically, because I didn't fucking say it.
Yeah, all right.
I know better than to offend the fucking nutless Unix centers. Their powers are fearsome.
And
They can
bearded.
crash your phone.
All right. All right, well, that's it for this episode of Friday Night Party Line. Check us out next week on Acceptable Vices when we're doing something. In the meantime, if you are hankering for movie reviews, Derek, who you're familiar with from Acceptable Vices with his awesome games, he and I have been reviewing movies for like the past 5 weeks. Check it out. It's at 52films.tumblr.com. Link in the show notes. And that's it. Thanks, gents, for a fantastic episode.
Thank you.
Woohoo!
Bye. Go to your local library.
Go to your local library, yes.